The Eurovision Song Contest 2010 was the 55th annual Eurovision Song Contest, broadcast from the Telenor Arena in Bærum, Greater Oslo, Norway. Norway gained the rights to host the contest after achieving a record-breaking victory in Moscow the previous year. It was the third time Norway had hosted the contest, having previously done so in 1986 and 1996. The 2010 winner was Germany with Lena singing Satellite, written by American Julie Frost and Denmark's John Gordon. It was Germany's first win in 28 years, its second since the contest's inception, and its first win as a unified country. It was also the first time a Big Four country won the contest since the rules' introduction in 2000. The semi-finals took place on 25 and 27 May 2010 while the final was scheduled for May 29, 2010. The European Broadcasting Union announced that the voting system used in the semi-finals would change from previous years to balance jury voting with televoting. A return of accompaniment by orchestra was also proposed, but did not happen. 39 countries took part in the contest, with Georgia returning after a one-year hiatus, and Andorra, the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Montenegro withdrawing. Lithuania originally announced its withdrawal from the competition, but was later among the 39 participants confirmed by the EBU. A global financial crisis affected how the event was run. Several countries elected not to compete due to budget cuts, and host broadcaster NRK sold its broadcast rights to the 2010 FIFA World Cup to another broadcaster in order to finance the event. Venue: 150 million Norwegian kroner was originally the venue budget agreed upon by Trond Giske and Hans Torp Jerkers, respectively the Norwegian Minister for Culture and the head of Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation. This represents a larger budget than that allotted in the 2007 contest in Helsinki, but is not as much as the budgets in Moscow for 2009. The revised estimated cost for the concert now stands at 211 million kroner. At a press conference in Oslo on May 27, 2009, it was announced that the show was to be held in the Oslo metropolitan area. NRK argued that Oslo was the only city with the required capacity, venues, and infrastructure to hold the show. On July 3, 2009, it was decided that the venue would be the newly constructed Telenor Arena, in the municipality of Bærum neighbouring Oslo. The Oslo Spectrum was ruled out to host the contest due to its smaller size and capacity as was Valhall in Oslo and the Hamar Vikingskipet. Visual design: NRK announced the theme art, slogan and design for the contest on December 4, 2009, during the host city insignia exchange between the mayors of Moscow, Oslo and Bærum, marking the official kickoff of the Eurovision Song Contest 2010 season. The theme art, a series of intersecting circles, was selected to represent gathering people and the diversity of emotions surrounding the Eurovision Song Contest. In addition to the base color of white, the logo was created in black, gold, and pink. A preview of the stage design was released on May 6, 2010, featuring no LED screens, opting instead for various other lighting techniques. Postcards: unlike the 2009 and the 2008 postcards, the 2010 postcards were based in simplicity but also included an innovative idea. They are shown like they could be seen right in the venue, over the crowd's heads. The basic synopsis of the postcards is a numerous group of little golden balls forms the shape of each country. Then, they move and form a screen where we can see a pre-recorded video of a little crowd from a city of the country about to perform supporting and cheering their act. After that, a few seconds of the performer of the country getting ready in the stage are shown. And then, the balls form the flag of the country supported. In the part of the shape of the country, there were little discrepancies. Some countries' shapes, such as those for Serbia, Israel, Armenia, and Azerbaijan, weren't completely shown, due to territorial or border disputes in those areas. Presenters: NRK announced the hosts of the contest on March 10, 2010. Those chosen were Erik Solbakken, Hadija Toyoni, and Nadia Hasnaoui. Solbakken and Annie opened the three shows, introduced the artists, and reported from the green room during the voting, with Hasnaoui presenting the voting section and scoreboard announcements. This was the second time that more than two hosts were presenting the shows, after the 1999 contest. Format, voting. On October 11, 2009, the European Broadcasting Union announced that the format of the semi-finals was to be changed so that the results would be determined by a combination of 50% national jury and 50% televoting, making it more consistent with the final. Each country's votes were determined by combining the jury votes and the televoting results. The countries with the top 10 highest points in each semi-final then qualified to participate in the final of the contest. This replaces the semi-final format used in the 2008 and 2009 contests, in which the countries with the top 9 highest points from the televoting results in each semi-final qualified for the final. The 10th semi-final place was then given to the country with the highest number of points from the jury's votes which had not already qualified for the final from the televoting results. On October 26, 2009, the EBU announced that the voting would be open throughout the competition and would conclude 15 minutes after the end of the very last song. Possible return of the orchestra. A number of fans began a campaign on social networking site Facebook for the return of an orchestra to the contest in Oslo, for the first time since 1998, with more than 5,000 people joining an orchestra, which had been used since the first contest in 1956, was dropped after the 1998 contest due to rapid developments in music technology, which made backing tracks more useful. Jan Fredrik Hedal of the Norwegian Radio Orchestra said that they were interested in participating in the 2010 contest if the EBU and NRK approved the return of an orchestra. However, no such change to the contest had been approved. Interval. The Interval Act involved a number of live public outdoor dance events from across Europe, which were planned for promotional purposes, but done in the style of a series of spontaneous flash mobs. The outdoor footage was intercut with webcam footage from individual private households. Peter Svard, head of press for the contest on behalf of broadcaster NRK, said, "We want to share the Eurovision Song Contest, rather than just broadcast it." The 7.5-minute-long song, called Glow, was produced and co-written by the Element team and performed and co-written by Madcan. Pot allocations. On Sunday 7 February 2010, the draw to decide which countries were to appear in either the first or second semi-final took place. The participating countries excluding the automatic finalists were split into 6 pots, based upon how those countries had been voting. From these pots, half competed in the first semi-final on May 25, 2010. The other half in that particular pot will compete in the second semi-final on May 27, 2010. This draw also doubled up as an approximate running order, in order for the delegations from the countries to know when their rehearsals commenced. The draw also determined in which semi-final the automatic finalists voted in. The draw for the running order of the semi-finals, finals, and the order of voting, took place on March 23, 2010. Participating countries. A total of 39 countries confirmed their participation for the 2010 Eurovision Song Contest, including Georgia, which returned to the contest after its withdrawal in 2009 when its entry, "We don't wanna put in," was disallowed owing to political references which violated contest rules. The EBU announced that they would work harder to bring back Austria, Italy, and Monaco to the 2010 contest. In September 2009, the EBU's director Bjørn Eriksson stated during an EBU press conference that Austria will be back, and that the EBU has reasons to believe that Luxembourg and Monaco were also to participate and that now we are only missing Italy. In late October 2009, the 2010 contest project manager Ola Sanders stated that countries such as Monaco and Luxembourg have indicated that they wish to participate in next year's competition in Norway. However, the representatives of broadcasters of Austria, Monaco and Luxembourg denied participation in the 2010 contest. Wolfgang Lorenz, the program director of the Austrian broadcaster Österreichischer Rundfunk, informed Austria would not take part in the competition, stating that the contest has been ruined by the regulations. La Copyright Monte Carlo has also declared that Monaco would not be returning to the Eurovision Song Contest for the 2010 edition, mainly due to a lack of finances to send a monegasque entry. the RTL Group had announced that they were having serious discussions regarding a possible comebacks for Luxembourg in the contest for the first time since 1993, but later confirmed that the country would not be present for the 2010 contest either. San Marino also considered returning to the competition in 2010. However, after deliberations with Italian artists, including Italian sister duo Pela and Cira, Sammarinese broadcaster Radio Televisione della Repubblica di San Marino was informed to withhold returning after failing to receive funding from the Sammarinese parliament or sponsors. EBU had talks to Liechtenstein's only broadcaster 1FL-TV for them to join the EBU, and become a part of the Eurovision Song Contest. 1FL-TV's program director Peter Kolbel had confirmed interest in Liechtenstein's participation in the Eurovision Song Contest as soon as full EBU membership is granted, which may have happened in December 2009. Thus they were getting ready to debut in 2010, considering a national final concept similar to the German version of the Idol series A Euro Deutschland sucht den Superstar. In November 1FL-TV decided against applying for EBU membership in December for financial reasons, ruling out a debut at the 2010 contest. The broadcaster will now look at other options for funding EBU membership in the future. From July to December 2009, 5 countries who participated in the 2009 contest announced their withdrawal, and non-participation in the 2010 contest. The Czech Republic declared that it was to withdraw due to a lack of interest from Czech viewers after 3 successive semi-final failures since their debut in 2007. Andorra's broadcaster Radio I Televisia Cube d'Andorra announced a 10% reduction in its spending budget for 2010. RTVA had submitted a preliminary application to take part in the contest. However, being unable to secure extra funds by December 11, 2009, it decided to withdraw from the 2010 contest. After its withdrawal, many former Andorran Eurovision Song Contest contestants expressed their disappointment in RTVA's decision to withdraw, and the lack of publicity the country will now receive by not being contestants in the contest. Hungary withdrew from the 2010 contest, due to financial difficulties of the national broadcaster Magyar Televisia Cubed. Montenegro and the Montenegrin broadcaster Radio Televizija Crna Gora also withdrew because of financial problems, in a way to reach financial consolidation after 3 years as an independent state. Lithuania's broadcaster Lithuanian National Radio and Television initially announced its formal withdrawal from the contest after failing to achieve the necessary funds of 300,000 litas for participation. It was later confirmed by the EBU that Lithuania would indeed participate in Oslo. Funding was eventually given by Lithuanian company TOLT, which allowed Lithuania to participate in the contest. Results: semi-finals. 34 countries participated in the semi-finals of the contest. The semi-final allocation draw took place on February 7, 2010, while the draw for the running order was held on March 23, 2010. To keep tension high, the qualifiers were announced in random order, and scores were published online only after the final took place. Semi-final 1. The first semi-final took place in Oslo on May 25, 2010. The 10 countries in this semi-final with the highest scoring points, according to a combination of televotes and jury votes from each voting country, qualified for the final. The wildcard option from the previous contest has been dropped. France, Germany and Spain voted in this semi-final. Semi-final 2, the second semi-final took place in Oslo on May 27, 2010. The 10 countries in this semi-final with the highest scoring points, according to a combination of televotes and jury votes from each voting country, qualified for the final. Norway and the United Kingdom voted in this semi-final. Final. The final took place on May 29, 2010 at 21 o'clock CEST in Telenor Arena, Bærum, Akershus, Greater Oslo, Norway. The Big Four and the host country, Norway, qualified directly for the final. From the 2 semi-finals on 25 and 27 May 2010, 20 countries qualified for the final. A total of 25 countries competed in the final. The voting system used was similar to that used in the 2009 contest, but viewers were able to vote during the performances. The voting window ended 15 minutes after the conclusion of the songs. Voting during the final, countries revealed their votes in the following order. Scoreboards, Semi-final 1. In the first semi-final, one unknown country had only a jury because the votes of the country did not meet the EBU threshold. The split jury televoting results were announced by the EBU in June 2010. Only the split totals received by each country were given, not the full breakdown. 12 points, below is a summary of the maximum 12 points each country awarded to another in the first semi-final. Semi-final 2, the jury televoting results were announced by the EBU in June 2010. Only the split totals received by each country were given, not the full breakdown. 12 points, below is a summary of the maximum 12 points each country awarded to another in the second semi-final. Final, the split jury televoting results were announced by the EBU in June 2010. Unlike in 2009, only the split totals received by each country were given, not the full breakdown. 12 points, below is a summary of the maximum 12 points each country awarded to another in the final. Other awards, Marcel Bazina section on awards. The Marcel Bazina section on awards were first handed out during the Eurovision Song Contest 2002 in Tallinn, Estonia, honoring the best competing songs in the final. Founded by Christopher Paragraph RKMAN and Richard Hooray, the awards are named after the creator of the annual competition, Marcel Bazina section on. The awards are divided into 3 categories: Press Award, Artistic Award, and Composer Award. OGAE. Organisation GAR Copyright NAR Copyright Rail des Amateurs de l'Eurovision is an international organisation that was founded in 1984 in Savonlinna, Finland by Jari-Pekka Koikkolainen. The organisation consists of a network of 40 Eurovision Song Contest fan clubs across Europe and beyond, and is a non-governmental, non-political, and non-profitable company. In what has become an annual tradition for the OGAE fan clubs, a voting poll was opened allowing members from different clubs around the world to vote for their favorite songs of the 2010 contest. Below is the top 5 overall results, after all the votes had been cast. Barbara Dex Award. The Barbara Dex Award has been annually awarded by the fan website House of Eurovision since 1997, and is a humorous award given to the worst-dressed artist each year in the contest. It is named after the Belgian artist, Barbara Dex, who came last in the 1993 contest, in which she wore her own self-designed dress. Incidents: the performance of Daniel Diggs representing Spain was disrupted by Catalan pitch invader Joan Marcotte, also known as Jimmy Jump. The performance continued as Marcotte, wearing a barretina, joined in with the carefully choreographed routine, but he ran off when security personnel appeared on the stage. Spain was subsequently allowed to perform their song a second time at the end of the show. Commentators. Spokespersons. Broadcasting. Australia. Even though Australia is not eligible to enter, the contest was broadcast on Special Broadcasting Service, a free-to-air television station, as in previous years. As in 2009, the coverage featured local commentary and segments from Julia Zamiro and Sam Pang. The first semi-final was broadcast on May 28, 2010, the second semi-final on May 29, 2010, and the final on May 30, 2010, with all shows broadcast at 19:30 AEST. The first semi-final rated a respectable 316,000 viewers, the second semi-final rated 415,000 viewers and the final rated 366,000. A solid result considering Sunday night offers tough competition on the commercial networks. The final was also simulcast on a special digital radio channel, set up by the network, which has aired classic Eurovision songs, in the lead-up to the event. SBS also aired the EBU-produced Countdown to Eurovision specials on May 14 and May 21 at 4 p.m. For the 2010 contest, SBS broadcast a special TV program The A to Z of Eurovision 1 week before Eurovision. This program was a 20-to-1 style show that plays the craziest, campest and most controversial moments of Eurovision with great guests and performers. It also featured as a form guide to find out who was hot that year, and what to look out for the following weekend. The A to Z of Eurovision featured Eurovision performers including Johnny Logan and Ima Billen as well as Australian celebrities. The show was hosted by Julia Zemiro and Sam Pang. New Zealand. Although New Zealand is not eligible to enter the contest was broadcast on Triangle TV's satellite channel Stratos. It broadcast both the Eurovision Song Contest 2010 semi-finals as well as the final as a delayed broadcast. Hungary. It was announced at the reference group meeting on March 22, 2010 that Hungary would be broadcasting the contest. Duna TV, currently an approved member of the EBU, has been confirmed as broadcasting the contest in Hungary after Magyar Televízió Cubed, the current Hungarian broadcaster, pulled out. They have also announced that they will attempt to send a Hungarian entry to the 2011 contest. Kazakhstan. It was announced at the reference group meeting on March 22, 2010 that Kazakhstan would be broadcasting the contest. Kosovo. It was announced at the reference group meeting on March 22, 2010 that Kosovo would be broadcasting the contest. Montenegro. Despite not participating in 2010's Eurovision Song Contest due to financial trouble, the national broadcaster of Montenegro, RTCG, aired both semi-finals and the final live on its main channel RTCG2. Worldwide, the official Eurovision Song Contest website provided a live stream without commentary via the peer-to-peer medium Octoshape. Eurovision 2010 was also broadcast worldwide through European streams such as BVN, RTSat, HRTSat, RTP International, TVE International, TVP Polonia, TRT Avaz, BNT Sat, ERT World and SVT World, among others. Some radio stations such as Bosnian Radio, Croatian Radio and Radio Tirana broadcast live through their internet websites as well as on their satellite channels. High-definition broadcasts. For the third time, the contest was broadcast in high definition. Some countries, through their high-definition channel, allowed their country to watch the contest in HD. Australia Euro SBS HD, Belgium Euro A Copyright N HD, Denmark Euro Doctor HD, Germany Euro Das Erst HD, Hungary, Duna TV HD, Israel Euro Hot HD and Yes HD, Netherlands Euro Nederland 1 HD, Norway Euro NRK HD, Poland Euro TVP HD, Portugal Euro RTP HD, Romania Euro TVR HD. Serbia Euro RTS HD, Spain Euro TVE HD, Sweden Euro SVT HD, Turkey Euro TRT HD, United Kingdom Euro BBC HD. Notable artists that did not qualify. Notable artists that participated in one of the national song selection shows, but did not manage to qualify for the Eurovision Song Contest include A1, Andreas Johnson, Buranovsky Babushki, Darren, Emina Juhovia, Eric Sword, Keep of Kalesin, Lena Koyama, Michael Graham and Ola Svensson. Returning artists. Official album, Eurovision Song Contest, Oslo 2010 was the official compilation album of the 2010 contest, put together by the European Broadcasting Union and released by EMI Records and CMC International on May 17, 2010. The album featured all 39 songs that entered in the 2010 contest, including the semi-finalists that failed to qualify into the grand final. See also, for winners of other awards relating to the Eurovision Song Contest, Marcel Bazina section on awards, OGAE, references. External links, Eurovision official website.